Well, good morning. I'm Dan the Blood Man here in the Fort Myers Donor Center. We've got some special guests here today. We've got Janet Allison, who's achieving 125 gallons of giving today. And I happen to notice next to her is Nick. And Nick is one of our great team leaders down here, a supervisor for our donor services. And he's leading by example. He's giving platelets today as well. Wow, Nick. How many gallons are you up to?
Today is 21 gallons.
21 gallons. I guess you're legal today. That's great. That's awesome. Are you going to keep at it till you get to 100 gallons or 125 like Janet?
I can only hope so. 125 is my goal.
All right. All right. See what you've done, Janet? And again, this is Janet Allison. She's a sweetheart here. She has been giving platelets a long, long time. And Janet, why don't you tell us a little bit about what got you started donating?
Well, initially I started donating when a bus was brought to my church. We had a cancer patient in the church congregation, and you didn't have to, but they suggested if you could, you would. And then when they brought it for him, I donated. When I moved here to Florida, I went to work for a company that brought a bus into its parking lot every 2 months. And we had a great recruiter on staff that, they encouraged you to donate. You didn't have to clock out. They made a big party room in the break room. And we all donated every time the bus came. And one Monday, the bus had a flat tire. And I didn't want to get out of rotation, so I called. The blood center was located over on Evans Avenue here in Fort Myers. And I went in on a Tuesday evening. And I had talked about platelets with staff before, but it was only done from 8 to 4, and I couldn't at that point in my life take a half a day off from work to do it.
Sure.
So the night that I went in, the night after the bus had a flat, they were doing platelets on a person. I was there about 6 o'clock at night, and I said, "Oh, you do platelets after 4 o'clock?" And she said, "Yeah, if you can be here by 4:30, which in those days you could go from Lehigh to Fort Myers in a half an hour. You couldn't do it today. But she said if you could be here by 4:30, we could do platelets." So they took an extra little tube of blood and called me the next day and said, "When would you like to start?"
Awesome.
So I've been doing platelets since late 90s. So it's almost 20 years now.
Wow.
And, I started donating platelets, and I've been doing them every 2 weeks, or when the computer allows, ever since.
Oh, that is just awesome, Janet. That is awesome. And we've got some special thank you things for you today, some recognition items. And one of your favorite people who loves to stick needles into you, Fanny, is going to present those to you.
Well, Janet, this is your 125-gallon sticker
Wow.
that you've been waiting on.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And also we have a certificate of recognition is hereby granted to Janet Allison. Thank you for your outstanding contribution to our community. Your dedication and generosity as a blood donor is remarkable. Today we recognize your amazing achievement of becoming a 125-gallon donor.
Yay, Janet. Woo! Nick, no clap. Nick, no clapping. All right. We're going to put that proudly on you, Janet. Looks like a photo op to me. Okay. I'd also like to ask you to give her that bag. Janet, one of the other special things about Janet that people don't know is after she retired, she became pretty much a full-time volunteer here at our Fort Myers Donor Center. In less than 4 years, she has donated over 5,000 hours of service, greeting donors, helping out here at the center, whatever she can do to help. And the folks from our volunteer department wanted to recognize her. Now, there's some humor in this. That bag is full of donor gifts, and I'm sure you already have gotten all of these at least once, but now you're going to get a second set of t-shirts, a nice another blanket to wear, because we know you're going to need a new blanket eventually over the years as you keep giving. So that's just a nice bundle of stuff wanted to give you, and they're recognizing your hours for this past year as well. So one more crown in your crown, one more star in your crown, Janet. And there's something else of fun here. Janet, tell me, what is your ritual? When I was talking to you, there's a way you prepare for donations every 2 weeks. Tell our listeners about that.
Well, I prefer to donate now that I'm not working at 7 o'clock on a Friday morning, just because it gets it done. You can keep track of your liquids because you need to be hydrated. I get up at 4:20 on this morning and every Friday that I donate, and I drink 2 big tumblers, just like that tumbler there,
Yep.
of water. And that's so that there'll be lots of hydration in my veins and Fanny won't have such a hard time sticking them. And then just before I donate, I eat, I can't plug the company I get.
Yes, you can.
I eat Wendys chili out in the parking lot just before I donate. I heat it up before I leave my house, and it gets to be just the right temperature. When I pull in the parking lot, I eat my Wendys chili, and that gives me lots of protein and lots of fiber in my tummy, so I don't get the least bit lightheaded. I can go through a donation and feel great.
And Janet gives a triple unit of platelets every time, folks. Not many donors have that many platelets and willingness to be on the machine a couple of hours to give that special gift that benefits cancer patients in so many ways, saving lives and families. So that is a special gift. Well, I happened to talk to Wendys when I heard your story. I said, Wendys needs to know about this. So, with Fanny's help, would you please bring that nice group of things over here?
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So, we have a certificate from Wendys recognizing you, certificate of appreciation. This is certified that Janet Allison for recognition for amazing selfless acts of kindness, and it's signed by them, which makes it fun. But more importantly, for your benefit, they want to say yay from Wendys, okay? And we now have for you, Janet, 26 coupons from Wendys for a free chili, because they're preparing you to donate for the next year and they're buying your chili. So let's thank Wendys for their contributions. And then they gave you some other swag because, hey, they had an opportunity to say, yay, woo!
Oh, how wonderful.
I thought you'd enjoy that.
Much.
Makes it fun. Yep. And involves the community, because you're saving lives here in the community and they should be supporting you. So that's just awesome, Janet. Well, I have one more special guest for you today. Karin, would you come over here? Oh, why don't you go over next to Fanny, actually, because we'll just do that. Well, this is Karin, and Karin Wolfe is a local woman who has a story to share with you that I think will help you understand the impact of what you do, and one more thing to add to our audience.
Well, I'm here to thank you on behalf of all the recipients, because you're all here donating all the time and you maybe don't get to see. I'm going to start to cry.
That's all right.
The recipients, but it was 17 years ago that I promised myself I would do this, so you wouldn't hear me squeak, but I was giving birth to my first child, and I had placenta accreta, and we went into an emergency situation, and they had to do a cesarean section, and which all went fine, and then I started to bleed out because of the placenta accreta, and I completely bled out twice, and there was only enough blood in my body from my heart to my brain to keep me going. I was awake during the whole thing. I'm quite feisty and tenacious. So they were talking to me the whole time, and they don't understand how I stayed alive. But I remember them, just screaming for more blood. And I lost almost over 4 liters of blood that day. And they just kept packing me with platelets and blood. And if it wasn't for people like you, I wouldn't be here to raise my kids. So just wanted to thank you for that. And everybody else that's received blood, because you're saving lives. So thank you. Appreciate it very much.
Karin gave birth in Naples, and she currently lives in Bonita Springs here in Southwest Florida. And we thank you, Karin, for coming out and sharing that to our donors and to Janet, because donors save lives and families every day, and you're an example. And Janet, not only did she raise her son, who's now, she's told me 6'4", I believe?
He's 6'6".
6'6".
Yeah.
He grew 2 more inches. She then adopted a daughter from Kazakhstan after that, because of her to have an even bigger family. So you've allowed her and people like you to have the second chances and to go on with their lives. So.
And my son donates blood now, and I became a snuggler at the NCH hospital to snuggle the NICU unit baby. So everything that you're doing is really wonderful, and there's so many people out there that have received, maybe I received your blood too, I don't know, but we just wanted to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for doing everything that you do. You too, Nick.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karin. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Nick. let's have a round of applause for these hometown heroes. Woo! Hey, and I'm Dan the Blood Man from here in Fort Myers, inviting you to come out and share your gift of life wherever you are today. Go to oneblood.org and make a date to donate.